Guys, our last topic.
Methods, local methods and instance methods.
Variables you're discussing,
Morning,
right?
sir.
Variables.
Yeah, happy Ugadi. Enjoy Ugadi.
Thank you, sir. Wish you a happy Ugadi.
Thank you, thank you. Today I'll start some new rules. Ugadi, ra? New rules, new life. Again, we'll start. Um, Coming to the new rule, guys. This year the one rule is I'm stopping core Java teaching. I'm starting like Spring Boot microservices classes this year
So,
completely.
so we are the luckiest one, right?
Guys are last classes, right? Good, good.
Yes.
When will you start for Spring and microservices?
Not much time, 20 days. In 20 days.
Okay. Once we can complete this core Java, and then I'll start.
But
Or I'll separate.
you require advanced Java also, man. Understand?
Yeah, I required advanced Java. That's what I'm asking.
Core Java, advanced
But
Java.
Ratan sir,
Sir, tell me.
you will be also teaching Python, right?
What?
Python.
Python, yeah. Python is taking that. Python, no problem.
Okay. Yes. After this, I will be taking that course.
Enjoy. Take Python. I'll teach Selenium also. You take Selenium, Hadoop. Enjoy all courses.
If you are taking Selenium, then I will go for Selenium also.
Cool. Not now. Guys, in
Okay.
num1 equal to 100, num2 equal to 100, is that num1 is num2 what type of variables? Is that local or instance or static? Guys, is that local or instance or static?
Instance.
Inside the class means these are
Sir, this
instances.
is instance.
Yeah. Once if we declare the static modifier, this variable is called static modifier, guys. Static variable.
Static.
So not only static modifier is a difference. In the real time, when we use instance, when we use a static, that I'll tell you next class, mostly. Next class I'll tell you. But as of now, think like in front of the variable, if I define a static modifier, this is called static variable. And if I was not completed within 2-3 days regarding the real time, which scenarios you go for the instance, which scenarios you go for the static, please help me know so that I'll take example. Okay, I'll take one big example about that point actually. Guys, these are called static variables. And instance variables when memory allocated. Guys, instance variables when memory allocated. Instance variables memory allocated. They
It's created.
instance variables memory allocated when object is created, right? When object is created. And static variables memory allocated when class loading time, guys. When you're trying to execute the class, first of all class is loaded, then only object is created, right? Then only object is created, right? Exactly. So the static variables memory allocated when the class file is what? Class loading time, right? Class loading time, guys. Memory destroyed when class unloading time, right? Class loading time and what? Class unloading time, guys. Guys, tell me, is that class loading is first activity or object creation is first activity?
Class loading is the first activity.
Yeah, definitely class loading is first activity means static variables memory located first, right? Out of three, exactly. Guys, if we take the add method, so this is my method. As you know, like main method is instance method, static method. As per yesterday discussions, main is which method here? Main is which method, guys? Static method. And this main is this area is called which area here? Static area, right? Main method is a static method. This area is called static area. What about add method, guys? Now, add is what type of method? Guys, what is the add
Instance.
method? Add is the instance method. This area is called which area here? Instance area, right?
Instance array.
Exactly. Good, guys. So when coming to the static variables access permission, guys, yesterday instance data access permission. What is instance data access permission? Guys, please tell me yesterday permission here. Instance data accessing. So if application contains instance variables, instance variables and what methods. If application contains instance variables and method, we have the two areas. One is the instance area, the second one is what? static area, right? Instance area, static area. Instance variables and methods results in instance area. Then how can we access?
Direct access.
Yes,
Direct access.
very good. You can go for the direct access, right? What about second case here? Instance variables and methods. The second area is static area.
Object creation.
So for the different area means we have to access using object name, right? Access using object name, guys. That is called instance data accessing. If you take the static data accessing today class, static data accessing, good. If application contains static variables, yeah, application contains what? Static variables and methods. As usual, how many areas are there? Two areas. One is a static area. The second one is what? Instance area, right? Exactly. Yes, but static variables where memory allocated? The static variables memory located when a class file is loading time, right?
Hmm.
The static variables memory located when a class file is loading, right? That's what, guys. Whether it is a static area or instance area, always we are accessing the static variables or methods means access the static data using class name. Guys, access the access the static data using what? Class name, right? That's it. Whether it is a static area, no problem, or if it is an instance area, no problem. Always access the static data. Access the static data using what? Class name, right? Access the static data using what? Class name, right? Exactly, guys. Yeah, as you know, like instance data, always you can access using object name, right? Don't forget these 2 points, guys. Always access instance data. Even though instance to instance, they require the object, right? Always access the instance data using using what? Object name. Next one is what? Always access the static data using what? Class name, right? Static data using class name, guys. Don't forget these 2 points. Instance data means always you can go with the object. Static data means you can go with the class name, right? Exactly. Guys, now tell me this num1 num2 is what type of variables now? Guys, num1 num2 is what type of variables? Definitely,
Static
these are the
variable.
static variables. These are static variables. This is called static area. How can we call the variables? How can we
Using
call?
class.
Yeah, we can call a static variable
Using class
using
name.
class name, right? What is the class name here? The system dot out dot
Yes.
test dot num1 plus test dot num2, right? That's it. Yes. What about here? Here also I want access, but this is which area here?
Instance area.
Instance area. How can we access then? Whether it is an instance area, no problem. Whether it is a static area, no problem. We are accessing the static variables. How can we access a static variable? You can access a static
Using
variable
class name.
using class name, right? Exactly. You can access a static variable using class name. So here also we have to call using class name, right? So we can go with the test.num1 plus test.num1 plus what? Test.num2, right? That's all, guys. In this case, what's the output now? Guys, this case, what is the output?
Single time it's reflected.
Single time?
300. 300.
Hmm.
Single time 300, huh? Very good. Because we didn't call still add method, right? That's what
Yes.
300 is printed, it's fine. So then you can compile this code. Yeah, you can compile this code. Java's the application is called what? Test.java. Code is compiled fine. So Java the class is called which class, guys? You. The Java the class name is called test class, right? Exactly. We got the output is 300, but 300 is how many times, guys? Only one side. We got the 300 is only one time, guys. Hmm? Then I would like to call this add method. Add is what type of method now? Yes, add
Instance
is instance method. In which place you want to access now? Static.
static.
It's fine. See, guys, always when you're accessing instance data means think about the object creations, right? We are accessing the
Yes.
instance data means object creation. Static data means what? Static data means what? Class name, right?
Class
Exactly.
name.
See, I want to call the add method. Add is instance method. Then how can we call the instance method using object name, right?
Object
Let me see,
is
do you have any object here? Any object
no.
is there here? No, there is no object, right? Then you can create a
We
fixed
need
object for this class. So test t equal to test t equal to what? New test, right? Test t equal new test of. Then you can call that method t dot which method gets here? Add method, right? That's all. Now we got the output is how many times gets out of here? Twice, right? Code is compiled fine, code executed fine. So always access the instance data using object name because this is instance method we have to call. That's what we are using object name. Always you can call the static data. The static variable we can access inside the static area, instance area. Any area we can access using mm, we can access using what? Our class name, right? Exactly, guys.
Last name.
Yeah, so total we saw like three types of variables, guys. Local, instance, and static. Mm? Local, instance, and what? Static, right? Yes, three variables are clear. Huh? Good. Yeah, declarations and accessing everything is fine, right? Good, good. And next example, if you see guys, I have like int a equal to 10. Which variable a equal to 10?
Instance variable.
Boolean b equal true. Which variable now? Let me make the static boolean. Static boolean b equal to true. Now
Static variable.
this is called static variable, right? Yeah, instance variable static variable now. This is called instance variable. This is called what? Static variable, right? Exactly. Then I declared here a double variable, double d equal 10.5. Then this is called which variable, guys? Definitely double type, right? Sorry, double means what type of variable here? Local instance or static? Guys, this is local or instance or static. I declared this variable inside
Local.
method, right? Main method, right? This is definitely local variable, right? Exactly. Then system dot out dot println enough. I am printing simply d here, double value. After printing the d, I would like to go for the int a equal 10. I want access. A is which variable now? Instance. Then how can we call
Instance
the
variable.
instance?
Object.
Then
Object
how can
name.
we call the instance using object? Instance means always object, guys. Static means always class name. Local means directly
Class.
how to print. Hmm? Directly how to print.
Dot
Then
a.
t dot a. How can you call the b variable? We have to
Class
call the
name.
b variable like a class
Test
name, right?
dot
For the class
b.
name here, test dot b,
B.
right? Exactly. Guys, this case what output now? What is the output?
10.5. 10.5. 10. True.
Oh, exactly. As for the flow, first one is a 10.5, then 10, then true, right? Exactly. Yes, but permission is clear, right? How to access the data. Local variables directly we can do it. Instance variable means using object. Static variable means using static variable means using class
Class.
name, right? Exactly.
Class name.
Now you can compile this code. Code is compiled fine. Code executed fine. We got the 10.5, 10, and true, right? Exactly. Just tell me I remove this variable here and I remove this value here. I remove these two values. This case for the output now. Guys, this case what is the output? I think if it didn't assign any value, by default it assigns
Default.
yeah, default values, right?
True.
Exactly. What's the output now?
Boolean it will be false.
Again,
If it didn't assign any value,
if
the JV will assign the
A
default
will
value.
be null, A will be null, and Boolean B will be true.
A will be 0.
Unfortunately, you said those both are wrong, Miss Man.
So by default, integer value is 0.
Mm.
Okay, then it will be 0.
Guys, tell me what's output now.
Then the
So we'll get the output is like
10.5. 0 and false.
10.50 and false. Because integer default value is 0. Boolean default value is what? False, right?
False.
Boolean
okay.
default value is false. So 10.5, 0 and what? False, right? 10.5, 0 and false, guys. But see, I remove this value here also. This also. This case, what do I put now?
0.0.
Guys, what is output now? We got the output like
0,
0 now.
0, 0.
0.0f. 0.0f.
Oh, cool. F is
0.
not there because decimal data is by default double only, right? Then why f is not required? Tell me. Okay, so the put now 0. First one is how much, guys? This value is how much? 0. 0.0, right? Next two lines.
0.
But
False.
yeah, but this example generate error message, guys. So read the error message here. So variable d might not have been initialized. Variable d might not have been initialized. It means it's saying like error message like variable d is not initialized, right? Exactly. The reason is, guys, that JVM will assign the default values only for the instance and static variables. Guys, the JVM will assign the default values
Not for
only for the
local.
instance and what static variable. But d is which variable, guys? Local variables, right? Yeah, local variables default values are not assigned, guys. You must initialize local data. Guys, you must initialize what? You must initialize local variables, otherwise you'll get the error message, right? Otherwise you will get the error message, guys. Is it point is clear? The conclusion is coming. The JVM will assign, okay, will assign the default
Default.
value. Tell me, guys, the JVM will assign the default values only
For
for
instance, and static variable.
instance and only for instance and
Static
what
variable.
static variables, um,
But
mm,
not for
but
but
not
not for the
for
local variable.
local data. So in Java must initialize, okay, must initialize the local data, right? Must initialize local
Yes.
data. Otherwise, we will get error message, right? We will get what? Error message, right? Exactly. Guys, the JVM will assign the default values only for the instance and static variables, but not for the local data. In Java, must initialize local data. Otherwise, you'll get error message, right? Guys, otherwise you will get the error message, guys. Good. And one more small observation, guys. So initially, I have the local variable. I didn't assign the local data, definitely. Yes, I didn't assign the local data. But simply here I'm printing something like Ratan. I'm printing Ratan one line, two lines, something like this, three lines are there. Then here d equal to 10.5. Again Ratan. I'm printing like d variable now. Guys, this code is valid or invalid now? See, initially I declared variable, but I didn't assign any data. Second time, I assign some values. Later, I'm printing the value. Telling this code is valid or invalid. See, by seeing this statement, don't think like variable is not initialized. You get the error message, guys. So before printing that variable, before using that variable, yes, before using that variable, you try to check whether the variable is initialized or not. Yes, before using that variable, the variable is initialized, not initialized. Variable is initialized, right? Yeah, the before using, we have to check the variable is initialized or not. Definitely before using this variable is initialized, right? Then any problem now?
No.
No problem, right?
No.
Then code is compiled fine. Code is executed fine, guys. We got the output is Ratan 10.5. So by seeing this line, don't expect any errors. Variable is not initialized, you will get the error. Don't think like that. So before using local variables, you must initialize the data. Okay, so the point is clear, right? Before using local variables, so must initialize the. Tell me, guys, must initialize the data, right? Exactly, guys. That is information basically. Before using the local variables, you must initialize the data, right? Exactly, guys. Good. You guys are clear, right? Conclusions are very important here. I can declare static int a equal to 10. Guys, this is which variable now? A equal to which variable? A equal 10. Guys, a variable is
Static
which variable?
variable.
Static variable. How can we call the static variable?
Class name.
Class name. What is the class name here? Test.a we can call
Tested
it.
or date.
Exactly. Guys, but observe one point, we can call the static variable directly also, no problem. Static to static, something like that. Static to static. We can access the static variables directly also, no problem. Okay, and even we can access a static variable using object also, guys, because static variables when memory allocated, static variables memory allocated
Class.
when class loading time, right?
Class loader.
That's what here static variables are ready during class loading itself. When the class file is loading, that's what we can access a static variable using class name we can access, or we can access directly, or we can access using object name also, guys. As we can access using what object name, right? That's it. So if you want, you can run this code is compiled fine. So then Java, the class is called test class. As we got the output how many times total?
2 times.
3 times. It means 3 possibilities are there, right? Definitely. Exactly, guys. So the static variables accessing, right? Exactly. Guys, how many ways you can call the static variables?
3 ways using
There are
class name.
there are
direct-
3 ways. There are 3 ways to access the static variables, right? Exactly. One is using, tell me guys, using
Class name.
class name. Second one is what? Using
Direct access.
yeah, second one is direct access, right? Direct access. Yeah, direct access. Number C. What is number three, guys?
Using
Using class
object.
name. First one is the using class name. Second is the direct access. The third one is what? Using object name also, right?
Object.
Yes, even though we can access the static variables in 3 ways, guys, but you forgot about the second approach and third approach, direct access and using object name. Always static data means you can use what? A class name only. The reason is generally in application level, we have to follow some standards definitely. If you are printing directly means which variables you can print directly generally. Generally, we will print the local variables directly, right? Guys,
Local variable.
variables will
Yes.
print directly, local variables, right? Yeah, in that case, when I see the printing directly means immediately in the maintenance, when I see the code, I decided that is called local variable, right? When I see this line object creation acts in the data, immediately I can decide that this is which variable, guys, instance variable, right? Guys, generally which variable you can access using object instance variables, right?
Yes.
Guys, which variables we can access using object instance variable, right? That's what. Anyhow, 3 possibilities are there, but you forgot about direct accessing, you forgot about the instance like object creation. Always static variable means you think about only class name, guys. But 3 possibilities are there, but always you can go with the class name. Why means in application that is not recommended approach. See guys, some cases we are calling object, some cases we are calling the class name, then definitely code readability reduces, right? Definitely affects on code readability or
Yes.
not.
Exactly, sir.
It affects on code readability, right? That's what. Yeah.
Sir, I have a question over here. If we have a local variable with the same name A
That's what we are
in the
actually
main
using class name, right?
exactly. So to differentiate that thing, then definitely we will be using like with using a class name and using without class name to use the local variable to identify okay which variable to use.
But sir, what about instance variables, sir?
Yes, sir.
That I'll discuss tomorrow class. Tomorrow we'll get this exam.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Guys, that is called static variable data. First case is like how to can we access a static variable means using class name we can access the static data always. Access the static data using class name. And the J will assign the default values only for the instance and static, but not for the local variables you must initialize. And before using local variables must initialize the data, otherwise you'll get error message. And we can access static variables total how many ways, guys? Total 3 ways, but always recommend to go for the class
Three
name
ways.
approach only. Not it is always recommended to it is what it is always recommended to access the static data. It is always recommended to access static data using, tell me guys,
Class name.
using class name, right? That's it, guys. Next example, let me go with the final variable. So here I declared int a equal to 10, int a equal 10. So a plus equal to 10, a plus equal to 10. Okay, then I'm trying to print the data, the system dot out dot println of a value. In this case what do I output now?
20.
Yeah, a plus equal 10 is nothing but a equal to a plus 10, right? So simply get the output is how much here code is compiled fine. The class is called which class, guys? Test class. 20 is the output, right? Exactly, 20 is output, guys, but I declare this variable is a final modifier. Guys, this is a equal 10 is a local variable, right? To the local variable, only one modifier is applicable, that is called final modifier, guys. This is also one of the important point. To the local variables, how many modifiers applicable, guys? To the local variable, only one modifier is applicable, that is which modifier, guys? Here, final modifier, right? Exactly. As local variable, only one modifier is applicable, that is which modifier means simply final modifier, right? Exactly. In this case, what's the output now?
10. Yeah, it will be given issue.
If you
Final
can,
modifiers cannot be modified.
exactly. Guys, final variables are fixed constants, modifications are not allowed. The modifications are not allowed. But here I'm trying to the modification, right? Even if you are trying to do the modification, the compiler generates what? Error message, guys. Compiler generates what? Error message. Variable my cannot assign a value to
Final
cannot
variable.
assign a value to variable final variable here, right? Exactly, guys. As information. There's final variables modifications are not allowed, guys. Final variables modifications are not allowed. If you are doing modifications on final variable, you will get the error message like cannot assign a value to final variable, right? Is it clear now? Final variables are fixed constants. Final variables are what? Fixed constants. Modifications are not allowed, guys. Modifications are not
Not
allowed. Okay. Final variables are fixed constants. Modifications are not allowed. And second point conclusion is some small point. To the final variables, how many modifiers applicable, guys? To the final variable,
local variables.
yeah, to the local variables, exactly. To the local variables, only one modifier is applicable, right? Only one modifier applicable. Only one modifier is applicable. That is which modifier?
Final.
Final modifier, right? Exactly, guys. Okay, sorry, clear. This is called about the final variables. See, even you can go for the final variable for the instance and static is not a problem. But for the local variables, only one modifier, that is called final modifier. Because in front of the local variable, can we declare public means not possible, guys. Can we declare the static means not possible. These all modifiers are not possible, guys. Local variables in front of the local variable, we can apply how many modifiers? Only one modifier, that is which modifier, guys? Here, final modifier, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Final variables are fixed constants. Modifications are not allowed. Final variables are fixed constants. Modifications are not allowed. To the local variables, only one modifier is applicable. That is which modifier, guys?
Final.
Final modifier, right? Exactly. There's one small question. Can we define the instance variables inside instance methods? Can we declare instance variables inside instance method?
That will be local.
Yeah, but it's not possible, right? Then that will be the local, right? That will be the
Yes.
local. Can we declare static variables inside the static method? Can we
Possible.
define static variables inside the static method? Okay, very clear now. I'm asking static variables inside the static method.
Static should be within the class.
Oh my god. See, I said within the static method I'm asking. Within the static method means definitely it is not possible, right? Inside the method means by default that is called become local variable.
Local.
That's what you cannot access, right? You cannot do, right? Exactly.
Yes.
Inside the instance method, you cannot define the instance variable. Inside the static method, we cannot define the static variables. In
Static
instance and
variables.
static variable, we can define only within the class, not inside the methods, right?
Yes.
Instance variables where we will define inside the class, but not within the method,
Class.
right? Exactly. Is that clear now? This is called final variables, guys. Final variables modifications allowed or not allowed means definitely modifications are not allowed, right? Exactly.
No.
Yeah, that is information, guys. And next example, you can see if we take the next example regarding variables, declare different ways of declaration, guys. Int x comma y comma z, we can define like this, no problem. Int I equal to 10, I equal to 10 comma j comma k. This is also valid declaration. Otherwise, you can define like static int uh, okay, a equal to 10 comma b equal to 20 comma c we can define, it's not a problem. Otherwise you can declare static int ijk l equal to, okay, l equal to 10, L m equal to 20, lmn n equal to 30. This is also valid here. Otherwise, yeah, that's also valid. Multiple possibilities, guys. One more last possibility. ABC D equal to, okay, D comma E equal to 100, DEF. This is also possible, right? I think all possibilities are covered. X, Y, Z. First values, three values are not assigned here. Here first value is assigned. Here first two values. Here all three values. And what about here? DEF means first
Only
value is
one
not
value.
assigned. The middle value is assigned, right? Exactly. That's up to you guys how we are declared the multiple variables in a single line. Okay. But tell me, is that X, Y, Z is instance a static variable? Yes, X, Y, Z is
Instance.
instance variables, right? How can we access instance variable?
Object name.
Yeah, exactly.
Object name.
These are the instance variables. And this is called which method, guys, here? This is called which variable
Static.
here? Static variables, right? Exactly. Yeah, static variables are instance variable, right? Exactly. And how can we call the instance variable, guys? First of all, to access the
Test T
instance
equal
variable,
to
we require the object, right? That's what first you require the object here. A test t equal to what? New test of. So I want print these three variables in a single line, guys. How can we print the three variables in a single line? To print the three variables in a single
T
line,
dot X.
some dot out dot print enough. We can call the t dot a plus some space like this you can give plus t dot b plus again you can give some space here plus t dot sorry not abc. I think these are
Sir,
what
ABC and on X, Y, Z.
z, right? So t dot x and t dot y and last is what t dot z you can give. Hmm? If you want, you can run this code. You'll get the compilation. Code is compiled fine. So code is compiled fine. Here the class is called what? Test class. We got the 000, right? Exactly. Second one also you can access using object name only. So t dot I. Because in the double quotes I give the spaces. Here you can give any message, no problem. Hyphen 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 like this. Here also hyphen 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 and t dot I, t dot I
K.
j, t dot
K.
k, right? ijk values. Then code is compiled fine. Java class is called which class, guys? Here test class, right? So we got the output is 10 0 0. Okay, clear, right? Next one is what I want to call the abc variables. How can we
A.
call the abc variables, guys? Abc is an instance of static.
Test dot A.
We can call
Static.
the test dot a plus some double quotes. Here what are the symbol you want, you can give the symbol, it's not a problem. Let me give hashes here. Next one is what? Plus test dot test dot
P.
b some space plus, yeah, here you can give the hash like this. So plus test dot c, right? Like this. Then we get output is what? 10 20 0, I think, right? Code is first you have to compile the code, guys. For every modification you have to compile. If you didn't compile, if you run the code, this is the previous dart class for executing, right? Now when I compile, the dart class file is overriding. The dart class file is overriding means the new content will come, right? So this code here 10 20 and 0, right? 10 20 and what? 0. That's fine, guys. Next one is what? The system dot out dot
LMN.
ln what?
Test dot L. Test
ln.
dot L.
My God. Okay, lmn test dot l space test dot l m space you can give the test dot l m n. Oh,
N.
that's fine. Now you get the output is code is compiled fine. So Java the class is called which class, guys? Here test class. Here the output is 10 20 30, right? 10 20 and what? 30. Yes, last case what the values tell me? DEF. DEF value. Just you trying to print the DEF value. Yesterday assignments completed, huh? Yesterday assignments completed, huh? Yesterday assignments completed.
Let me
Yes, sir.
check.
Rani is not answering properly immediately because she is not completed. I know that. Rani, I want your assignment. Where is assignment? And Vani, not Rani. Vani.
I'll submit, sir.
Huh? No, Rani, this is not good. You have to complete the assignment. What are the tasks? Uh, I given you have to complete the task, right?
Will complete, sir.
This is last and final warning in our team. This is the last and final warning. Don't repeat this again. Complete the work. Arshita,
Yes.
where is assignment, Arshita?
Sir, second assignment I didn't get, sir.
You didn't get. What the meaning of you didn't get? I already
Means it
uploaded
is showing some error.
I already uploaded in the YouTube video, right?
Which one, sir?
Yesterday, sir.
Yes, sir. Second assignment, assignment I got, sir.
Second assignment you are not completed. You are not understand it as
Ah,
well.
yeah, sir, I did, sir, but it is showing some error.
Okay, you try to complete by today. Okay,
Yeah.
Guru,
Okay.
what are the assignments, man?
Yeah, I have completed, but I didn't post. Today I post.
Okay, Shivakumar.
Yes, I completed, sir.
Complete, huh? Sir, show me your codes.
Yeah. Sir, I watching through the mobile. I can't able to upload now. I will upload later.
Okay, Usman. Usman, assignments complete,
So
not completed.
completed.
Venkat.
But some assignments I have still to upload.
Venkat.
That complete, sir.
Completed. Vidya.
So one completed, sir. Second one error.
Then who will complete, sir? You only will complete, na?
Yes, sir.
Today complete, sir. Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Rani, all are
Yes,
done
sir.
assignments. Only you are not complete assignment.
Complete, sir.
Code is compiled fine. Code is executed fine. We got outputs like 0, 100, and 0, right? Yeah. Exactly. Guys, that is an example for that class. That's all variables completed, guys. Today I'll give one assignment, small assignment. You try to complete these assignments also. Assignment number one. Guys, very simple thing. Declare the one class test. So declare two static variables. Guys, declare what? Two static variable and the static void add method. Static void add method. Tell me, guys, static void add method. Here print the addition here, and the static void multiplication method here. Next one is what? Print the multiplication and the main method, guys. What is syntax of main method? Public static void main. Simply can write the string array RGS, right? Open brace, close the brace. Here we have to call the add method. We have to call the multiplication method, right? Exactly, guys. Is it clear now? Good. You try to complete this example, and second assignment will be the very straightforward assignment number 2. Declare here previously static variables are there, right? Declare two instance variables, guys. Guys, these are which variables now?
Instance.
Here I want access to.
Look.
How can I access?
Object.
Object, right? Then here itself we can create the object. I think here also require the object. Okay, print the print the multiplication, right? Just we can call the add method and call the multiplication method. Yes, are you clear? Second assignment is clear. Which variables
Yes,
we are
sir.
declaring and which data we are accessing, just you try to check, man. That's very straightforward assignment. So exactly. There's any questions, please? Yeah. So that's all, guys. That's all we done with the variables concept.
Sir, one thing. Yesterday we have seen the memory for instance variables and local
Static variables
variables.
memory
But
location
for
in the method area, which is stored in the method area. Okay. So if you want, let me write the static variables, the points. First point is which point? Tell me, Rani. Where it is declared, Rani? Inside the
inside class.
class. Next point is what? Scope. What is scope now? Scope is also inside the class. And the memory. When memory allocated?
During the class loading.
Memory allocated when class loading time, right? Memory allocated when the class loading time. And next one is what? Memory destroyed. Memory destroyed. Memory destroyed when class when class unloading time, right? Class loading time and class unloading time. And where it is stored, guys? Stored in method area, non-heap memory basically. So some guys are saying like non-heap, some guys are saying like method area. So that point is clear, right? Exactly. That's all, guys. That's all we done with the variables concept. We'll meet in tomorrow class. We'll start the methods concept. We'll start which concept, guys? Methods. Like 2 days, right? Every 2 days. 2 days variables, 2 days methods, 2 days constructors, 2 days blocks. Total it will take 8 days classes almost. Because it's very, very important and very, very powerful. That's what I'm making 8 days. Definitely give me some time to complete this topic. Okay. Good. Next one is what? Day 3, guys. Tomorrow is day 3. The topic is called what? Method arguments will focus. Guys, day 3 will focus on the method arguments. Day 4 will focus on the method return type. Methods are contains two things: method arguments and method return type. And tomorrow class will focus on the method arguments, guys. Good.
No.
And guys, by tomorrow we'll meet. Same time, 9 o'clock.
Thank you, sir.
Happy Ugadi.
Thank
Enjoy
Bye, sir.
some new rules.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you,
Don't
sir.
go with the routine. Try to
Thank
take
you.
some new rules.
Bye, sir.
Yeah. Bye, guys.